Welcome everyone to ESPN's Road to Champ Week, presented by Wendy's, part of Big Monday, brought to you by Boost Mobile. Tonight from the sold-out Donald L. Tucker Center in Tallahassee, number 11 Louisville in town to take on the 6th-ranked Florida State Seminoles. Game with huge implications in the race for the Atlantic Coast Conference title for Louisville and Chris Mack. 3 games remaining in the regular season. Right now they're atop the ACC standings at 14-3, but Duke and Florida State also with just 3 losses, tied at 13-3. Good evening, everybody. Welcome, Sean McDonough along with Jay Billis. Big Monday doesn't seem like quite a big enough title tonight. This is ginormous Monday for these two teams. Major conference implications, 2 very deep and talented teams.
Both these teams are capable of getting to the Final Four in Atlanta, and both are capable of cutting the nets down. That's how talented and good these teams are.
And it's a rematch. They met in early January, the 4th of January in Louisville. It was a double-digit win for Florida State.
And you have to give a lot of credit to the Florida State guards. They are athletic, they are long, they are very good defensively, and all 3 of these guys can score. M.J. Walker had 23, Trent Forrest, one of the most respected players in the league, and Devin Vassell is an NBA lottery pick. He's an outstanding player.
Here's Allison Williams with Louisville coach Chris Mack.
Thank you guys very much, Coach Mack. What must your team do better this time against Florida State to deal with the Seminoles' size?
Well, I think it really starts with dealing with their pressure. They're as good as any team in the country defensively at disrupting and getting you out of your offense, and our ability to handle that pressure and not turn the ball over, especially on the road, is going to be crucial.
Thank you, Chris.
Thanks.
Chris Mack in his 2nd season as head coach at Louisville. Done an outstanding job, 43-19 as head coach of the Cardinals after a terrific 9-year run at his alma mater, Xavier. Student section active. They put some remaining tickets on sale last night. They sold out in 10 minutes. Florida State has won 21 in a row in this building. They're 63-3 in their last 66 games here. And we're ready to go. Included in the sellout crowd, Bill Murray, whose son Luke is one of the assistant coaches on the Louisville staff under Chris Mack. Mike Stevens, Doug Schaus, Bert Smith are the officials. Bert will throw the ball in the air. Florida State in the home white. And Knowles controlled the tip, run by Malik Osborne. Here are the starting lineups brought to you by T. Rowe Price. Trent Forrest runs the show, does everything for the Seminoles. Jay said Vassell, a terrific player. Walker, Gray, and Osborne round out the starting 5. Walker had a season-high 23, as you saw in the graphic, in that win at Louisville, Yum Center. He takes their first shot, is long with it, and the rebound down to David Johnson, the freshman who's taken over as the starting point guard in the backcourt with Lamar, Fresh Kimball, Jordan Ward, one of the best players in the country. Dwayne Sutton and Malik Williams provide size, scoring, and rebounding up front. Johnson stumbled to the edge of the lane and turned it over momentarily, but it was lost along the end line by Trent Forrest.
And this will be a tremendous challenge for David Johnson. He has not gone up against this kind of pressure and this kind of length and size. You know, Florida State does not let you run offense. They force you to make basketball plays.
And the first bucket of the night by Malik Williams, the junior from Fort Wayne, Indiana, inside at 6'11", 245.
Really nice job of finding the opening after his teammates cut from the free throw line.
Devin Vassell, their leading scorer. Raekwon Gray, baseline drive. And he scores. They did a lot of damage along the baseline in that win at Louisville in early January.
Well, 2-2-1, 3-quarter court pressure right now by Florida State. You're right, that baseline drive. Louisville's defense cannot give up baseline drives. That totally breaks down the defense in the pack line. You have to force it more to the middle and force it into help.
Jordan Wara scores inside. Junior from Buffalo, New York, the preseason ACC Player of the Year.
He was brilliant in the last ball game against Florida State. Wound up with 32 points, just could not miss. But he was really the only offense for Louisville. Or just finding the opening underneath, coming across the lane, and nobody picked him up. Just a miscommunication by Florida State defensively.
Fresh Kimball called for the foul for Louisville. 4-2 Cardinals. A whistle away from the ball. And Jordan Morris called for the foul underneath. Here's flipping the switch, brought to you by Boost Mobile. Jordan Morris flipped the switch quickly. Last 2 games, both of them wins at home against Syracuse and North Carolina. 17.5. After he did not score in double figures in either previous 2, 7 total. Both of them losses for Louisville.
A really good job by Florida State of cutting, and that's what opened up Malik Osborne. He was a screener there. Everybody's so worried about the cutters. He was wide open.
Kimball missed the 3. Snatched down by Malik Osborne. Transferred from Rice. Walker's open. Then the 3 popped up. Tipped out and kept alive by Raekwon Gray, and then tipped further out by Vassell.
A really good play by Trent Forrest to find Walker in the corner.
Malik Osborne, the 3 that pops out. And hobbling after grabbing the rebound and going down in pain, Malik Williams.
Louisville does not need that. Hopefully he can walk that off, but he actually walked with it. It just didn't get called when he came down and twisted that ankle.
He's heading right to the Louisville dressing room in that corner of the arena. Landed, ooh boy.
Anytime you roll that ankle, it is not pleasant to look at, and it's certainly not pleasant when it happens to you as a player. It scares you as much as anything, but you worry about ligament damage, all the problems that come from it.
These teams deep relative to a lot of college basketball. Louisville plays a 9-man rotation. The only player they have who averages in double figures is Ward, just over 18 a game. And there's Kimball with the jumper. But all of 9 in the rotation average at least 4.5 per game. Balanced and deep on both sides.
Well, especially Florida State. I mean, they play more people than Louisville does. And
they're typically 10 or 11.
And they're very productive in the minutes. They don't play a lot of minutes overall, but they are very productive in those minutes, especially on a per 40-minute basis.
Florida State has only 2 players averaging more than 25 minutes per game.
They go hard when they're in there. And when they come out, take a blow, and they put in another long-armed, really athletic player. And there doesn't seem to be any drop-off, not only in effort, but in productivity. Good fake.
Kimball, another fake. He's wide open and spins and scores from just inside the free throw line.
That's a really smart play by Kimball to use Florida State's aggressiveness against them.
Averages 5 per game, has 4 already tonight. He's a grad transfer from St. Joseph's, where he's a 3-time team captain. The only one in the history of the school, traveling against Malik Osborne.
Just a fantastic job by Fresh Kimball of coming over from the weak side here on the offensive end. Shot fake, and then another ball fake, little pivot. Just beautiful basketball. But the defensive play that Fresh Kimball just made after there was a double team with a side ball screen coming over from the weak side was just as good, if not better, than anything he's done on offense. Good play.
Kimball locked it inside, and a short one missed by Stephen Enoch. Another big body inside, 6'10", 255. Speaking of big bodies, there's Raekwon Gray for Florida State.
Scoring in transition after the miss by Louisville. They went with a little cross screen by Kimball, and they got into a high-low, but Enoch couldn't finish the play, and that led to transition.
Sutton's three-pointer spun off. Raekwon Gray, 6'8", 260-pounder. Missed the layup, then missed the tip, but is kept alive by Osborne.
It almost doesn't matter, Sean, who from Florida State gets the rebound, because they can all rip and go and start to break themselves.
Vassell air ball. He was well beyond the three-point arc. Chris Mack calls out the play. They run a lot of set plays. So a lot of teams so intimidated by Florida State's length on defense don't even try to run their offense. Stephen Enoch fouled, and that gets us to immediate timeout. Welcome back to Tallahassee. You're watching the ACC on ESPN. Our first media timeout. Louisville leading Florida State by 2 as we go inside the play with Jay Phillips.
Take a look at baseline out of bounds for Florida State, and this is Malik Osborne here, and he's going to be the screener. 2 cutters are going to come off of him toward the ball, and oftentimes it's going to be the screener that's open rather than the cutter. 2 cutters come off. The Louisville defenders get a little bit confused trying to guard the cutters, and it's the screener, Malik Osborne, that's wide open for the shot. You always, as a passer, have to look for the screener in addition to the cutters. Florida State doing a really good job executing out of bounds underneath. And Sean, I have just taken you inside the play.
I know it's one of your favorite segments of the night. We have another exciting installment of Illustrator's Best to look forward to a little bit later on.
Yes, and I've made some adjustments so that you won't yell at me again.
Well, that's good. Stephen Enoch at the free throw line. And he made the first free throw. Allison over there eavesdropping in the Louisville huddle.
You can call it that. I just call it reporting. But I did hear them talk a lot about transition defense. That was the first topic that Chris Mack addressed with his team. He said, we have to stop the ball, we have to sprint and talk. He said, we're too worried about running back to our matchups. We have to be aware of where the ball is when we're getting back in transition.
Yeah, that's a great point, Allison, that sometimes guys can get into a little buddy running where you're running with your matchup instead of getting back and protecting your basket and playing the ball.
Raekwon Evans in off the bench. Misses his first shot, and Jordan Wara the rebound.
Florida State taking a number of challenge shots.
Evans took it back. Evans to the bucket, way too strong off the glass. The freshman Patrick Williams in the game, number 4 for Florida State. He's been hot lately, averaging 13 per game over the last 6. Enoch transferred from UConn. Good ball movement by the U of L, and Wara fouled on the drive.
Boy, smart play by Jordan Wara. Florida State does such a great job of closing out. When the ball's passed, they will close out to you. You're going to close out by Evans there, and he just drove the closeout. A little bit of over pursuit there to try to take the shot away, but that opened up the drive.
Malik Williams just now has come back to the Louisville bench. Evans, the foul is first. Ward makes the first free throw. Lots of substituting. We'll see that all night long on each side.
Both these teams are excellent free throw shooting teams. The key is going to be getting to the free throw line. The first game between these two teams, if I remember right, Louisville only shot 5 free throws, give or take. I mean, they did not get to the line.
I don't want to correct you, but it was Florida State that shot 5.
It was Florida State that shot 5.
Yes.
Well, that's not enough.
I call that reporting.
They need to shot. That was a great response.
It was. Allison's doing double duty tonight. Her son Lyle is here with her tonight. His second basketball game ever.
Beautiful shot.
Williams slipped and got called for the travel. Freshman from Charlotte.
Really talented player. And he's been playing extraordinarily well of late. Last five or 6 games, he's averaging 15 points, 6 rebounds.
And Leonard Hamilton told us before the game tonight his development's been important because it allows him to give rest to players he doesn't really want to have on the bench. Vassell and Walker in particular.
Fresh Kimball is probing, but there's nowhere to go. He's going right into traffic. Just too much dribbling, not enough offense being run.
It was Anthony Polite who was defending Kimball, and Louisville turns it over on the baseline as the shot clock had run down to 7.
You had made the point, Sean, a little bit earlier about teams going away from their offense. It's Florida State won't allow you to run it. You try to make an entry pass, they take it away. You try to reverse the ball, get it to the other side of the floor, they take that away. They're right there on drives. If you try to break it off, I mean, you've got to make plays. What you have to do is try to create space and then attack that space.
Corner 3. Buried by Polite. His 31st of the year. He's third on the team at 3-point field goals made.
Have to make him put the ball on the deck. Both he and MJ Walker have to be made to dribble the ball.
Kimball lobs it inside for Enoch. Forrest came over to help knock it away, and then a Louisville foul as the Seminoles are about to try to rush back up the court.
Florida State forces turnovers. They block shots. It's not as good of a shot blocking team as last year. They still block a fair amount of shots, but they don't change as many shots, and they don't have the same rim protection that they had. But #1 in steals in the ACC. I'll tell you, that last defensive possession was impressive. That was they got caught on a switch, and Louisville tried to make an over-the-shoulder pass. It was almost impossible for Stephen Enoch to corral.
Dominic Olenichuk in off the bench, missed that shot.
You have to give credit to this Florida State defense for the positions they put the opposing offense in.
Florida State off to a very rough start offensively. They're down by only 3, more than 8 minutes into the game. Nice move, and the bucket by Dwayne Sutton.
Got a middle drive, and then that's an up and under move. A terrific shot fake, and then up and under.
Sutton's been playing very well lately, averaging 13 points, 8.5 rebounds over the last 4. Olenichuk inside, scores, and a chance for a 3-point play. Excellent pass by Trent Forrest. He threw a bullet to the native of Poland in the transfer from Ole Miss.
Stephen Enoch got dragged down on that ball screen and then made the mistake. Jordan Warren doesn't come over to pick up the roller, and then Enoch commits the foul.
There is a new #1 team in the country, the Kansas Jayhawks, coming off a big win against Baylor Saturday. A conference championship within their reach, but is a national championship too. Tune in tonight, 9 Eastern, ESPN.
And we will, Holly. They're the new #1 after that win against Baylor in Waco. Tonight's Wendy's Wooden Watch, and on the late season watch list, you saw him in person on Saturday. Doka Asbuki, a big part of that win against Baylor. 23 and 19 with 3 blocks.
He was unstoppable. When he sets a ball screen and rolls to the basket, there is no way when they throw that thing up there that you're going to be able to stop that. I mean, he was remarkable in that ball game and played a ton of minutes, moved his feet. He was out guarding ball screens himself. He was fantastic. Player of the game by far.
Olenichuk couldn't finish the 3-point play. It's Louisville by 3. Just more than 8.5 minutes gone by as we get Big Monday started. Louisville in its 6th year in the league, trying to win its first conference title, and Ryan McMahon drops in a 3 from deep.
That is way too easy. Just set a double drag up top and came down, set a stagger for Ryan McMahon. If he's allowed to set his feet and he doesn't have to dribble into a shot, that's like a layup for another player.
Easy as well at the other end from in close for Trent Forrest. McMahon, a 42% 3-point shooter. Vast majority of his field goal attempts are 3s.
Bad shot
by Jordan Ward, deep and drifting away to his left.
All he had to do was pass that off. He got a switch and got the big guy on. He needed to pass it.
Polite ripped one quickly, then Williams a follow-up, and then Polite a little too aggressive in going for the rebound, and he gets called for the Florida State foul.
A little double drag up top, and then they go set the stagger for Ryan McMahon, and McMahon, every time he catches the ball, he catches it to shoot. He's not just ready to shoot, he catches it to shoot it, and if the defense takes it away, then he'll put the ball on the deck. But if he's allowed to set his feet, there is not a better jump shooter in the country than Ryan McMahon with his feet set.
He's now made 73 field goals this season. 62 of them have been 3-pointers.
You should guard him there then.
Yes, that would be a good idea. Williams, the block shot. We showed they're second in the conference in block shots. We're so used to seeing those big 7-footers. Chris Kumaji and other rim protectors. They don't have that guy this year. They have tall players, but they're not shot blockers. Their block shots come on the perimeter with a lot of athleticism, and David Johnson called for the Louisville foul.
Patrick Williams blocks this shot from behind. Even though he got beat, he doesn't quit on the play, and then he's smart not to foul. And then when he gets the ball, he brought it up himself. And with his left hand, got it all the way to the basket, fouled. He is a big-time talent, big time.
As you see, a terrific free throw shooter as well, 86%, and makes both here.
Guys, Chris Mack said before the game Louisville had to do a better job with Florida State's ball pressure, and multiple times during that timeout the Seminoles were told we have to get more ball pressure. Also, Charlton Young saying they have done a good job of penetrating and getting off 2 feet. We have to wall up and contest them on the drives.
Well, just basically contain and stay in front. It's one thing to put pressure on the ball, but you don't want to put pressure on the ball where you can get beat off the drive, because that breaks your defense down and puts you into rotation. But Florida State is so good at recovering. I mean, after a while, their defense is like body blows in a prize fight. It's going to be cumulative.
Samuel Williamson, the last bucket for Louisville. Osborne had to take a shot with the clock expiring.
What a good defensive possession for Louisville.
Jordan Wara, and a rebound down to Williams. That looked like a disaster waiting to happen for him from the minute he grabbed the rebound. Williamson again to the bucket. Talented freshman, highly recruited out of Rockwall, Texas. A McDonald's All-American in high school last season.
What a play diving on the floor by Samuel Williamson to knock it to a teammate. And that's ultimately what got him the bucket, was he put himself on the floor to go get the ball.
Long shot by Williams, missed, but Malik Osborne in the right place for FSU. He averages 6 points and 4.8 rebounds per game. 5 offensive rebounds now for the Noles.
You really have to know when you're playing Florida State personnel. You've got to know who's on the floor at all times and what they can do, because they sub so much and they have players with different capabilities that you've got to be very aware of. Good rebound by Johnson.
And he turned it over. Trent Forrest powered into McMahon and got called for the offensive foul. Crowd incensed.
Well, they're going to say that was offense-initiated contact. The issue is, yeah, I don't agree with that, because the defensive player was not in legal guarding position. And so, look, the crowd doesn't like it. I happen to think they're right, but it was at least a close call. When the official's behind the play like that, oftentimes they think, well, there was a push-off. And I just don't happen to agree with that call.
Now the crowd agrees with you. They're still playing Mike Stevens here, one of the best officials in the country.
Louisville trying to spread the floor right now so that they can drive Florida State. That was a settle.
It sure was. Darius Perry, who was their starting point guard for the first 26 games of the year. Now a bench player playing off the ball a lot. Nearly a turnover. It is a turnover. Walker kept it out of the backcourt, but threw it to Perry. McMahon, how deep is that? Not too deep for Ryan McMahon.
It doesn't matter for him, Sean. He's got logo range. And that's just a question if his feet are set. That dude is automatic when he gets his feet set.
177 career threes, 10th in the history of Louisville. Devin Vassell, the bucket.
What a talent he is. Devin Vassell can do absolutely everything on the court. Leads Florida State in scoring and rebounding. He's hit 43s on the year, and he's shooting 47% from 3 in ACC games.
Perry, that call for travel. Ryan McMahon off the bench and on target from deep.
This is his 63rd 3 of the year, and he hadn't hit many that are deeper than that. That is logo range right in front of the Seminoles logo.
Louisville and Florida State on Big Monday from Tallahassee. Time for tonight's Who's Made of More, brought to you by Guinness. How about the numbers for the Noles in this building? They've won 21 in a row here and 63 their last 66. They're undefeated here this season. They're the only ACC team that hasn't lost at least one home game this year. For Leonard Hamilton, winningest coach in the history of Florida State and 5th winningest coach in the history of the ACC. Really just now starting to get the credit for what a great coach he's been for a long time. Only Coach K, Dean Smith, Roy Williams, and Gary Williams have won more games as an ACC coach.
And all of them in the Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame. Leonard Hamilton has had an extraordinary career, both in accomplishment and the number of wins, you name it. But he was the first African-American coach at Kentucky. He was there 12 years under Joe B. Hall. And then he was the first African-American coach in the Big 8 when he went to Oklahoma State. And he's had an incredible career.
Elbow flare.
He's been a winner. He's had to do it in some places that haven't always been easy to win. Miami brought the basketball program back. And, of course, here at Florida State, known as a football powerhouse. And as he told us before the game, a lot of these schools in the ACC were in the ACC for decades, while Florida State was an independent in basketball in the Dixie League, the old Metro, which Louisville was a member of as well. Fresh Kimball missed, and Williamson has really shown his athleticism in this stint off the bench. Missed on the offensive rebound, and M.J. Walker was fouled as he turned the corner.
And Louisville had 2 point-blank layups, missed them both. First Kimball, who, I mean, he must have had 20 dribbles on that possession, but got the matchup he wanted and drove it. And then Williamson missed the tip-in. But, Sean, that shows you how explosive Florida State is. I mean, it doesn't matter who gets the rebound. That player can bring it up. They don't waste time on an outlet. They just rip and go, and that puts a lot of pressure on your transition defense.
Kimball was called for the foul, his second, and the team's 6th. One more, and they're over the limit. Under 6.5 minutes to go in the half. Strong move, and Raekwon Gray will shoot a pair.
Another time where the screener is the player that's open. On the out-of-bounds under, they set a little triple stagger along the baseline for a baseline runner. And the first of those 3 screeners was Gray, and that left him wide open in the lane. And heck, that's like giving the ball to Ironhead Hayward in the middle and letting him go through the line. He is huge.
Colin Williamson was his first. Louisville over the limit. Gray's been on a good roll from the free throw line. He's now made 10 of his last 11. And the announcer jinx in full effect early.
Florida State's such a good free throw shooting team. They need to attack the basket to get there more. Look how far out Louisville has to go just to make a catch. That makes their passes longer, their drives longer. Great play by David Johnson.
And a foul, chance for a 3-point play for the freshman out of Trinity High School in Louisville.
So that's an example of just having to make a play. Ball in the middle of the lane. Gray switches off to stop the drive and angle it out. But Johnson still able to get that shot up and over and get the foul. And he's been spectacular ever since the Duke game. He missed so much time with that shoulder injury. At 19 and 7 against Duke, he's been spectacular ever since.
Well, shoulder surgery over the summer on his non-shooting shoulder to the left. I guess shoot with both your shoulders, but it's not a shooting hand side. And the bucket on the strong drive by M.J. Walker.
Just good patience by Raekwon Gray inside. He had a mismatch, got the ball in there. He had McMahon on him, but instead of trying to bully McMahon, he got the ball back out. They reversed it and got a great drive and an even easier shot. And how is that not a foul?
You talk about how hard it is to run your offense. They haven't gotten anywhere near the lane here, and there's 7 seconds on the shot clock. It doesn't matter when you have Jordan Wara who can rescue you.
That just shows what a great shooting team that Louisville is. I mean, they're getting so much pressure, but they're still shooting such a high percentage.
And another 3 for M.J. Walker.
Louisville's got to tamp that down quickly because he can get hot in a hurry. Had 23 points at the Yum Center the first time these two teams met. Hit 5 threes in that one.
Timeout Louisville. It's a 30-second timeout. We'll be back in 30 seconds. Tomorrow night, our Super Tuesday doubleheader on ESPN and the ESPN app. Coach Calipari and the 8th-ranked Kentucky Wildcats, up 2 from last week and pulled out today. They're atop the SEC. They'll take on Texas A&M, and then it's the North Carolina State-North Carolina game. The Tar Heels trying to end a 7-game losing streak.
They beat NC State in Raleigh the last time those two teams played. And North Carolina needs a get-healthy game, and NC State needs that game to get into the NCAA tournament.
David Johnson, the bucket. And then the officials stop the play.
It's probably a delay of game warning.
And as they delayed the game, it's good for us because we get to sneak in bracketology with Joey Brackets. Right now, Duke, Florida State 2 seeds, Louisville at 3. He has 5 ACC teams in at the moment. As you said, NC State among the last 4 in. They were a tough omission from the field last year. One of the first teams out. Coach Keats. MJ Walker starting to take over the Florida State offense. 8 different Seminoles have scored. Walker has their last 7.
Yeah, Walker going after Ryan McMahon to take on that matchup. And Jordan Mora, he is a shot maker. That guy is a big-time talent. Got a charge. Nice job by Stephen Enoch of stepping in. He read that all the way.
That gets us to the under 4-minute timeout here in the first half. ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Wendy's. Try a Big Bacon Classic today.
Wow, that's a good question, Seth. I really like Louisville's chances. The only but with Louisville would be, I think, the point guard position, even though David Johnson, I think, is a game changer for Louisville. And I really like Florida State as well. I think I'm not sure Florida State, even though they shoot it well, the fact that they play so many guys, you know, they may have a rhythm issue in a particular game, and they don't have a go-to inside scorer. Man, we're nitpicking. Don't you agree? I mean, I think both these teams are good, more than good enough. We saw 2 of them that can get to Atlanta when we were in Waco with Baylor and Kansas. And then these are 2 more favorites that I think are in the top 8 to get there.
Ryan McMahon got open with the fake and buries another one.
Don't play horse with Ryan McMahon, ever.
He's 3 for 3 from beyond the arc. And this is the largest lead of the night for Louisville. 8 points.
2-3 zone right now for Louisville. Got to be able to get this into the middle and spray it out.
Also, Brothatobrotha inside. He's a 7-foot 1-inch freshman, and double dribble is the call.
Boy, Ryan McMahon is so poised when he makes the catch here. Gives a little shot fake, never moves, and then just dribbles it once, sets his feet, and goes up again. He thought about going into Walker and trying to pick up a foul, a 3-shot foul. But why not just go ahead and knock the shot down? Why take 3 shots to get what you can get in 1?
See the numbers up every year. He's become a more important player with each year. Started for a while this season. Obviously gives him great offense off the bench now. David Johnson, the bucket.
He's a star. I mean, David Johnson is a star.
Oh, wait a minute. You just said, in answer to Seth's question, if they have a concern, it would be the point guard.
Well, he's a freshman.
He's a star freshman.
He is a star. He is going to be a star. I mean, there is some inconsistency that comes with a freshman. Got to switch. Look at that, man. That dude is a playmaker, and he's also a fantastic passer. He sees things. He's got great court awareness. I mean, you were there that game he had against Duke. There's no way that Louisville wins that game in Cameron if he didn't go off in that game. He was spectacular. Not good, spectacular.
January 18th, he had 19 points, 7 assists, 3 steals, 4 rebounds, 3 dunks. And those 19 points off the bench at Cameron, the most by a Louisville player against a top 3 team in the nation since Russ Smith, who could score in a hurry, had 30 against third-ranked Kentucky back in 2011. I think that's the night a lot of the college basketball world got introduced to David Johnson. High-level win for Louisville. You know, they win here tonight, they will have split the 2 games with Florida State, and they will own the victory in the only game they're going to play in the regular season against Duke. Polite short with the lefty. They are in great shape with an eye toward winning the regular season. And the #1 seed in the ACC tournament in Greensboro. If they get out of here with a win tonight, have a couple of games left after this. Virginia Tech at home at the Yum Center, and then they go to Virginia, which will be a real tough one to close out the regular season.
At the switch.
Johnson with the 7-footer lunging at him. Sutton got his own rebound. Sutton might have been blocked by Koprivica. Out of bounds to Florida State with exactly 2 minutes to go in the half.
Well, you can see how relentless Dwayne Sutton is in pursuing the ball. Top rebounder on this Louisville team, just goes after it and never gives up on a play. We've got 2 of the most respected players in the league in this game. Trent Forrest, Florida State, and Dwayne Sutton for Louisville.
Respected because
of the way they play on both ends of the floor. How about Patrick Williams? That's a big-time play. The way they play every play on both ends of the floor. It's not necessarily they're the best players on the floor, but they're just guys that the way they go about what they do, you just have a tremendous amount of respect for. And coaches respect those guys.
Do a lot of things to help the team. Do it in a hard-working manner. Jordan Wara, a deep 3. He's an excellent 3-point shooter. 40% for his career. That is 5th all-time in Louisville. He's in a double figures. The lead is double figures. Wara playing in front of 30 NBA scouts here tonight. Most of them here to look at him. Devin Vassell of Florida State, who's had a very quiet first half. Among the scouts we talked to before the game, those are the 2 they're most interested in seeing. Polite, a 3 from the corner.
Wara couldn't get his shot to go down, wound up on his backside, and that gave numbers to Florida State, and they took advantage of it. Boy, this Louisville team can really score from a bunch of different positions.
That's a big force by Wara, but the ball run down by Louisville. They could almost take it now to the halftime buzzer, but 2 seconds difference, 2 and change.
You can take it all the way down to the shot clock, still have time for an offensive rebound.
5 to shoot. Time for a heave from half court by Forrest. Line right. And Louisville 20-0 this year when leading at the half, has an 8-point lead at the half. Leading Florida State 40-32. Wara leads all scorers with 11. 8 players scored for each team in the first half. Here's Allison.
Thanks, guys. Coach Mack, Florida State is known for their defense. Where have you guys found success offensively?
Well, I mean, we've obviously hit some shots, but I think those shots were created because of our ability to get in the lane. You know, we're trying to pick on their 4s and 5s. It's not very easy because they do it every single day. But, you know, we're still shorthanded with Malik going out, but we're going to have to play small when Steve's in there, try to work his mismatch as well.
I've heard that Malik is doubtful to return. Do you have any hope to see him in the second half?
Oh, I got a hope, but I don't know if he's going to be there or not. Thanks.
Welcome back to ESPN's Road to Champ Week, presented by Wendy's. Part of Big Monday, presented by Boost Mobile. Number 11, Louisville, with an 8-point lead against Florida State. 6th-ranked Seminoles on their home court. We get ready for the second half. And we welcome you back to Tallahassee. Sean McDonough along with Jay Billis. An impressive half for the Louisville Cardinals.
Well, you saw just how many playmakers that Louisville has. With the ball in their hands, when they give it up, they've got guys that can shoot it, and they made really great hustle plays. You can see here, watch Samuel Williamson get on the floor to knock it to Dwayne Sutton, and then he winds up getting the ball back and getting an easy basket because he did the hard things to get that easy basket. And one thing you cannot do, Sean, is allow Ryan McMahon open shots. You should never have to close out to him. He's not somebody you help off of. He had 9 points in that first half. And David Johnson made some spectacular individual plays. But Florida State had 9 turnovers in the first half. That led to 12 Louisville points. The Noles have got to stop turning the ball over.
A moment ago, Allison Williams with Leonard Hamilton.
Leonard, what was the biggest thing you tried to adjust with your team at the half?
Gosh, I just think we just didn't play. You know, we didn't play smart. We had plenty of opportunity to throw the ball inside. We didn't take advantage of their foul trouble and the lack of size inside. And I thought we had a lot of indecision. They kind of outplayed us, outcoached us, and out-hustled us in the first half. They didn't run very much offense. They just dribbled and dribbled and dribbled until they found the open man, and we didn't contain the dribble. That's a bad combination.
Okay, thanks, Leonard.
You agree with what Coach had to say?
Except for the out-coach part. I mean, he didn't get out-coached. That dude can coach with anybody.
War leads all scores. And a takeaway to begin the second half for the Noles, and the pull-up. One-hander wouldn't go for Trent Forrest. Rebounded by David Johnson, freshman point guard, out there with Fresh Kimball.
Oh, what a matchup with Johnson being guarded by Trent Forrest, one of the best defenders in the country.
Vassell took it away. Kimball worked hard to get it back. Shot clock at 10 for the Cardinals. Lob inside. Good catch. Enoch had it spin off, but Sutton was there. We are told that Louisville will be without Malik Williams in this second half. Turned his left ankle, if you weren't with us. He turned his left ankle in the first half. And he's a key player, 9.6 rebounds per game. But they've been thriving without him tonight. And Dwayne Sutton hit in the face as he approached the basket, and he'll shoot a pair.
But without Malik Williams in there, that takes away their best interior defender. He's the best big guy guarding ball screens. He's an excellent rebounder. And that means Stephen Enoch, who's probably the better offensive player, is going to have to play more minutes, and he's going to have to do a much better job than he usually does on the defensive end.
Dwayne Sutton can play the 5 if need be. He makes the first free throw.
Well, if Sutton's playing the 5, that makes Louisville really small. Dwayne Sutton transferred into Louisville from UNC Asheville. And man, UNC Asheville's put out some players. Maceo Teague of Baylor was a UNC Asheville transfer. Remember Andrew Rousey played at Marquette? He was a UNC Asheville guy.
Sutton played 1 year at UNC Asheville, had a very good freshman year. Had 12 points, 7.7 rebounds per game. Was the MVP of the Big South tournament in a big championship game against Winthrop.
So Jordan Wara did a very nice job defensively of containing the dribble. And defense hasn't always been his specialty, but boy, he has gotten so much better from last year to this year. Much more efficient with his offensive game. He does everything in fewer dribbles, rebounds at a much higher rate, and he's really improved as a defender.
Johnson was called for the last foul. There'll be another Louisville foul here. Foul on Johnson was his second.
I thought they got Warren. They get Johnson?
No, Johnson was the previous foul. Just kind of
this was Warren.
Updated. Warren called for his second foul.
Just talking about what a good job he's done defensively, and then he just got bullied in the lane. And that was not a smart foul. Sometimes you just got to let it go. If you're going to foul, don't let him finish the play.
Three-point play for Raekwon Gray. And the Noles bring some pressure. Minute and a half into the second half. Their 21-game home winning streak on the line here tonight before a sold-out crowd at the Tucker Center.
And Fresh Kimball being guarded by Devin Vassell, who is long and athletic. Now a switch with Osborne on him.
Kimball, yes. He gave them offense early. He's back on the score sheet. He played 6 years of AAU ball in Philadelphia on a team coached by Purvis Ellison. I don't know if you remember him.
I do, actually. He should send me Christmas cards.
Trent Forrest, the 3. You and Purvis, for those who don't know, matched up in, was it the championship game?
The NCAA, I don't know how much of a matchup it was. He had 25. I countered with 4.
Johnson the miss. They bring the crowd back to life if they score, and they do. Vassell from the wing, and many of the fans on their feet now inside the Tucker Center.
Right now, Florida State not letting Louisville run anything.
8-2 run for the Seminoles. Long three, Kimball again.
Every time Kimball has gotten a switch, he's taken on that switch and produced something positive. The transfer from St. Joseph's has made some outstanding plays when he's gotten a switch.
Got the big guy switching out. He takes it on and shoots right over Malik Osborne. Fresh Kimball. Nothing stale about him.
He has 9 points. ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Wendy's. Try a Big Bacon Classic today.
Welcome back to Tallahassee. The way Leonard Hamilton likes his teams to play, he needs a lot of guys. 11 have already seen the court tonight. And that also applies to the way he wants them to practice. He needs a lot of bodies. That's why their scout team is so important. It's a group of 6 walk-ons known as the Green Vipers. It's Justin Linder, Harrison Prieto, Travis Light, Will Miles, Cleveland Yates, and Ty Hans. They became the Green Vipers because they wear the green pennies during practice, and that was Linder's AAU team. So now they have their own mascot. And Leonard Hamilton said, this is the best scout team I have had since I've been here. These guys wear us out. They get us ready. Devin Vassell said they deserve all the credit for the success we have this year.
That is pretty cool to be the Vipers. We've got there's an XFL team called the Vipers, right?
I guess, yeah, I'm going with that. I watched the game yesterday. It was on. Was it the Battle Hawks?
It's very cool. A lot of great access.
I think it was the St. Louis Battle Hawks I was watching on the plane. I will say this, watching it, the access, as you said, is really cool. There was a nice drive along the baseline by Dwayne Sutton. And our colleague Tom Hart does a great job. He was doing the play-by-play yesterday. That's hard to do when you're trying to give the information about the game, interact with the analysts, tell the stories, but then you have to manage the traffic all the time. Okay, now the head coach is talking, or the assistant coach is talking. There's an injured Seminole on the court, as you see.
It's like M.J. Walker.
I believe it is.
I did not see how he went down or why. But that does not look good, obviously. On the other end, well, Lamar Kimball made another spectacular play after he got a switch. Just drove the switch and then got the ball along the baseline. There was help by Gray. And then along the baseline, Dwayne Sutton just cut right to the basket and made a fantastic finish. You got to give a lot of credit to Fresh Kimball for the way he's taken on switches. You take a look at the top of the screen there. Looked like he ran into the referee and twisted his right ankle, looks like. Yeah, you don't see that very often. There's not a lot of room there on the sideline in front of the benches.
Timeout on the court as M.J. Walker limps to the Seminoles locker room. Well, the crowd subdued here, understandably so. One of Florida State's best players injured in a collision with one of the officials, Bert Smith, and M.J. Walker. It looks to be like he sees Bird. He actually puts his hand out, but I don't think he was anticipating that Bird was going to slow down. Then he put his arms around his neck so he could stay on his feet, because he was clearly hurt instantaneously after they collided. They're a deep team. They've played 11 men tonight, as Allison said, but he's one of their most important players. Third leading scorer, 80% free throw shooter. Second on their team in three-point field goals made. Polite's made a couple from the corner. And Out of bounds. Polite the last to touch it. Louisville by 11. Their largest lead is 12. Florida State has not led at any time in this game. Chris Mack and the Louisville Cardinals trying to get to 15-3. Alone in first place in the conference. Duke also has 3 losses. Louisville would win a tiebreaker. They're tied at the end of the year by virtue of its win at Duke in mid-January. Jordan Warren's shot was blocked. And a field goal try by Trent Forrest dropped off.
I think they called a walk.
He got called for the travel before the shot fell off. So still an 11-point lead. 15.5 to go. Ryan McMahon back on the floor for Louisville. He made 3 threes, 3 for 3 for 9 points in the first half.
More of a very athletic roster or lineup for Florida State. You'd think that Fresh Kimball would want to get a ball screen to see if he can get another switch and go after it.
Devin Vassell's had a very quiet night. He's fouled by Ryan McMahon. Looked like he might have given McMahon a little bit of a shove to create some distance. But count the basket for Vassell.
Vassell was calling for the ball because he liked that matchup and wanted to take it on. And he did give a little chicken wing there to knock McMahon back. There wasn't a lot of contact up there as he went after the shot. You can't get anywhere near it. But Vassell, and he is an outstanding talent that is so versatile. And when he decides he wants to take over, he can put up points in a hurry. And without M.J. Walker on the floor, he's going to have to be more aggressive.
McMahon's foul a moment ago was his first. Sutton trying to quiet the crowd. Big rebound by Enoch. Stephen Enoch up and in for Louisville.
Brothatobrotha lost him, and Enoch took advantage of it. Enoch's having to play extended minutes in this game.
Good drive by Trent Forrest, graduate student here at Florida State, and he'll be at the line for 2. Johnson called for the foul as third.
Florida State being much more aggressive, looking to get the ball into the paint drive, and that's a smart move because they're such a great free throw shooting team. And these are free points.
Forrest fourth in the ACC from the free throw line, 82.4%. Came into tonight with 1,095 career points, 38th all time, 445 assists, 6th all time. You see the improvement in his free throw shooting year to year. 550 career rebounds, 219 steals. He's been a do-it-all player over his 4 years here in Tallahassee. An excellent student, graduated in December in 3.5 years. Has them within 8.
Well, Florida State putting on full court pressure. The initial trap.
Louisville's really kept poise against great pressure from Florida State. There's that double drag and then the staggered screen. You're not going to see McMahon miss many of those. He is wide open again.
His first miss. Polite trying to drive on McMahon. Foul before the bucket. That'll be McMahon's second. Coming up next on ESPN, 9 o'clock, out to Allen Fieldhouse in Lawrence, Kansas, as the top-ranked Jayhawks, #1 in the poll out today, host Oklahoma State. Jumped from 3-1 after beating #1 Baylor. Vassell, tough shot, and he made it over the outstretched arm of Dwayne Sutton.
That was just great offense, beating really good defense. Sutton was right there.
The pressure ratcheted up. Handled well by the Cardinals. McMahon all the way to the goal for his rare two-point field goal try. And he got fouled while throwing up a left-handed layup. As you can tell, the crowd didn't care for that. Dominic Olinichuk called for his first foul.
Nice little look off there, and yeah, there really wasn't much contact, if any, but Brothatobrotha reached in, and it must have looked like a foul. I don't think he made any contact at all, but Vassell, that's a big-time offensive play to spin back, little fadeaway jumper. Ryan McMahon, a 92% free throw shooter. The last two defensive plays, he stayed in front, done a good job of moving his feet. But the offense just got into his chest and knocked him back. He's probably going to have to, in order to get that call, he's going to have to fall down. They're not going to give it to him. He's going to have to fall down.
Good to see M.J. Walker on the bench. We're told they taped his right ankle. It's possible he could return. Olinichuk. Strong move. He turned and scored over Stephen Enoch.
Louisville had gone to a 2-3 zone, and Olinichuk just did a nice job of getting in front of the center middle defender.
Fresh Kimball managed to get by Polite. Kicks it out for an open McMahon. Long with the three. Snatched out of the air by Devin Vassell. Crowd fully engaged now. Vassell with Wara on him, two of the best players in the country. Crowd thought Wara bumped Vassell.
He did, and they're right. That was a foul.
Still 12 to shoot. Vassell trying to drive on Wara again, who blocked the shot. McMahon saved it in the corner.
Right.
Ooh, sloppy pass, and Kimball couldn't save it. I think McMahon thought Kimball was going to continue on the run up the sideline. He stopped for a moment. And as a result, McMahon's pass was too far ahead.
And Chris Mack not happy with that because of how hard Louisville had to work to get that ball back. And a lot of bumping and grinding on drives. You have to stay low and finish through that contact. Great pass.
Well, Williams inside, and Sutton met him on the way up, and it's out of bounds to Louisville.
Boy, what a play by Dwayne Sutton. 2-3 zone. Williams was hiding behind the back of the zone. They got it to him, and he normally finishes those plays. That's a heck of a block up top. A lot of body contact.
Darius Perry now in control of the ball. Junior from Marietta, Georgia. Guarded by Raekwon Evans.
Here comes that double drag screen up top, and then the screen down for Warren.
12 minutes to go in this vitally important ACC game. Kimball turned it over. Polite looked at his feet, thought about teeing up a three. Vassell rises and fires a three. He's come to life in the second half. The crowd with him. They were down by 12 a minute to go into this half. The Noles within three now. 10 of the 12 for Vassell tonight here in the second half.
Perry's got the switch.
Perry drove into a double team. Kimball with 8 to shoot. And Polite right up on him. 4 to shoot. Kimball jacks one, had to, missed it. Now a three would tie it for Florida State, which has not led tonight. Olinichuk bumped on the catch from behind by Stephen Enoch. And a timeout, media version, just in the nick of time for Louisville. It's a 9-2 run for Florida State. 11:04 to go here in Tallahassee, the start of a big Monday. Devin Vassell, very quiet first half. The Noles' leading scorer for the season, just 2 points before the break, but he has come to life, and as a result, his team right back in the game.
Well, he's been so assertive in this second half. 12 points overall, 10 in the second half, but Florida State has come out breathing fire defensively in the second half. They've held Louisville to under 36% shooting in the second half, while the Seminoles are shooting just under 54%, a complete reversal of the first half.
Florida State shot the ball extremely well in their win at Louisville in early January. Shot 55% for the game. Made 11 threes in the game, 11 out of 23. They're starting to find the mark here in the second half. Polite thought about a three that might have tied it. Vassell gets an Olinichuk screen. Tough fadeaway, no. And Jordan Wara way up to get the rebound. He averages 7.5 boards per game.
Well, they really spread Louisville out. Olinichuk, he rolls hard to the basket. That clears out a lot of space.
David Johnson to Jordan Wara. Never got to him. Williams got in the way, but it wound up back with Sutton, who missed a short one. And Dominic Olinichuk wound up with it.
Johnson trying to thread a needle. And Devin Vassell got hit in the chops, and the referee stopping it so he can come out.
And it's M.J. Walker who comes in. Walker gets a hand as he returns. That looked bad when he collided with Bert Smith, the referee. This is a team that has national title aspirations. Walker's a big part of that. First trying to win the ACC. Patrick Williams, all kinds of moves, and finally got a foul called. And David Johnson didn't like the whistle, and that's his fourth.
Patrick Williams switched pivot feet there. The officials weren't looking at the feet. See as he gets in here. He's walking all over the place. I mean, that's not even close. That should have been called.
Vassell still on the bench. Johnson will take a seat with 4 fouls. Ordinarily a 9-man team, but they lost Malik Williams, one of their starters in the front court, to a turned ankle in the first half.
That's really significant because it puts a ton of pressure on Stephen Enoch to play extended minutes, and it takes out their best interior defender.
Louisville handles the pressure again. Midway through the second half, Cardinals by 1. They're 14-3. Atop the ACC, Florida State and Duke are 13-3. Wara wide left. And now a chance for the first lead of the night for Florida State.
Florida State is forcing Louisville to rush things. That was a rushed shot by Jordan Wara.
Raekwon Evans fouled. Fancy dribbling. Got the crowd oohing and eyeing.
Raekwon Evans, junior college point guard that has been backing up Trent Forrest, is such an athletic player. I mean, earlier this season against Miami, he had a tip jam that was off the charts good.
First year here out of North Idaho College. He ties the game. Perry's foul is his first. Louisville over the limit already. Florida State's been called for just 2 fouls here in the second half. Now for the first lead of the night. Good rebound in traffic by Polite with Samuel Williamson on his back. Evans leans in and scores. And a chance for a 3-point play.
It has been 1 and out for Louisville. And Florida State taking advantage of it, bringing it the other way. Everything Florida State has done has been strong. Just a strong move by Raekwon Evans right into the body of Darius Perry. Now Louisville's going to say, hey, wait a minute, that's offense-initiated contact. What do you want me to do, like turn and run away? But that's just a strong move by Evans.
Second foul on Perry. And a rebound run down in the corner by Polite. M.J. Walker working on McMahon, just back into the game. That's a tough size and athletic matchup there for Ryan McMahon, who's called for his third, all here in the second half.
They're going to drive him every time there's a matchup against him.
M.J. Walker at the free throw line, 80% for the year. Wednesday doubleheader tips off in Houston. Harden, Westbrook, and the Rockets hosting John Morant and the Grizzlies. That's at 8. Then the Celtics continue their western swing in Utah to take on Louisville product Donovan Mitchell and the Jazz. Coverage begins with Stephen A's pregame Sports Center at 7 Wednesday night on ESPN and the app.
Florida State keeping some full court pressure on so Louisville just can't walk into their offense.
Almost 5 minutes without a point for Louisville. The run is 13-zip for Florida State. Kimball in trouble in the lane. Throw it away. Williams on his way to the bucket.
Kimball picked up his dribble in the lane. Instead of everyone converging on the ball, they converged on their matchup to deny. And Patrick Williams, with that outstretched arm and those huge hands, knocks the ball away. And that's a big-time finish. And right now, Louisville completely back on their heels. And Florida State throwing haymakers in this second half.
Well, the Noles can wear you out with the depth. They play 10 or 11 men nightly. So long and athletic on defense. Just 32 points in the first half. They've almost matched that with 8.5 minutes to go in the second half. And Jay, we talked to Chris Mack before the game this morning. He said the schedule's been rough. They haven't really had long stretches without games. This is their third game in 6 days. After tonight, they won't play again until Sunday, and then after that the following Saturday. And he said it's a team that could really use a little time off. Tough assignment, third game in 6 days against this bunch.
Especially walking into this building where you've already documented it's really hard to win.
Louisville trying to win the ACC for the first time in their 6 years in the league. Duke at 13-3, Florida State 13-3. Louisville has already defeated Duke. They won't play again in the regular season. Florida State lost to Duke. But obviously, if Florida State wins this one, they would sweep the 2 games from Louisville and own a tiebreaker with the Cardinals as we look toward the ACC tournament. These 3 teams atop the standings have all clinched the double bye at the ACC tournament. Virginia looks like a good bet right now to be the 4th double bye team. Ryan McMahon fouled while shooting a 3 by Polite.
They just ran a little tandem ball screen up top, and there was a roll and a pop behind. There's the roll, little screen on the big guy, and Ryan McMahon goes up straight, just got a little bit of contact and went down on it. Not sure he needed to, but referee right there. But that's the thing. I mean, if you don't go down, you're not going to draw a foul in this game. And he actually needs to go down when he's playing defense, because he's been in good position a couple times to guard drivers and got knocked back. And really what the referees are telling him is, you don't fall down, we're not going to give you a call.
I don't want to give him the announcer jinx, but it might save time and just gave him the 3 points and moved along. He's the best foul shooter in the history of the University of Louisville. 91% career.
He's like a human intentional walk. You know what the outcome's going to be, so just let the guy go to first.
If that was a putt, even you would have given it to him. And you have a very hard standard when it comes to the gimmies.
Yeah, but you always ask for a putt when mine's inside of yours.
Here, give me this, and then you put that one.
This is a putt I haven't begged for on more than one occasion. Polite, strong drive. He's had a nice night. 8 minutes to go. Florida State by 6. They've never won the regular season in the ACC. They have won a tournament championship. Williamson struggled to get it in against this relentless pressure. Now the Seminoles telling Ryan McMahon get back to his bench, and he'll be escorted over there by Bert Smith. ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is presented by Boost Mobile. Step up with Boost Mobile. Get a super reliable. Well, she's a great player, and Jay, I don't know if you saw her speech today in the celebration of the life of Kobe Bryant and Gianna, but she gave a tremendous speech.
Very moving. That entire event was so moving.
Evans called for his second foul. This is the 4th on Florida State. And there are the numbers that we were just talking about. 9 rebounds away from 1,000 to go. They're 2,000 plus points and 1,000 plus assists. They get up in that setting day in the Staples Center in front of the world and speak about her friends as beautifully as she did. That was as impressive as anything she's done on the court. War or miss, and kudos to all involved in that today. I thought it was tremendously well done, and the speakers were amazing. If you have a chance to watch it and didn't see it, find it somewhere.
It's going to be rebroadcast.
Well, that will make it easier.
Easier to find.
M.J. Walker way off. Williams wrestling with Sutton for it. The ball came flying out, and apparently they got Sutton for the foul.
I'm not sure anybody was prepared for that shot to miss everything.
Tempers flaring. I saw a little bit of that on the way to the benches for the timeout a moment ago, and McMahon had to be led away from the Florida State bench. These two teams that play very hard, battle you for everything. It wouldn't be surprising if tempers to get a little bit short. They play with the intensity with which these two teams play.
Oh, and it has been incredibly physical.
Well, Sutton is first foul, and Patrick Williams, the freshman, one of the top recruits out of high school in the college basketball this year, the rare miss.
You guys can see how things are getting a little chippy on the court. And you could just feel how hot these Louisville players were during that last timeout. They were so incredibly vocal. The coach has taken some time to huddle up. The players just speaking amongst themselves. Fresh Kimball, one of the most vocal, telling his guys, stop worrying about the refs. Stop worrying about the other teams. Focus on us and on getting stopped. Let's go. And Malik Williams can't be out there in the court with his teammates, but really trying to still lead this team. He is a captain. And he's telling his guys, it's just a 2-possession game. You've got this. Let's go.
Without a field goal for nearly 8 minutes. But still down by only 7. And a foul called on Olenechuk as he bumped down Enoch. Second foul on Dominic Olenechuk. They're not yet over the limit. Louisville, by the way, is out of timeouts with 6:48 to go.
David Johnson able to get a switch where he had Olenechuk on him. And he's just not strong right now in delivering some of these passes. They have led to a number of turnovers and deflections. There's another one. It's not a strong pass.
And Walker stole it in the corner. Did well to get it out of the double team. Just wonder if Louisville has enough in the tank to sustain it and get it back.
That's why they've gone to the zone, to try to give them a little bit of a break and protect them a little bit. But Enoch getting caught behind inside. The ball needs to go inside.
Shot clock about to run out. Raekwon Evans dribbled to an open spot. Jordan Warner trying to do too much. We've said that a couple of times tonight, and it's fortunate that it went out of bounds. Off the Seminoles.
Warner just took on 2 defenders and tried to spin through them. And that was going to be nothing but a turnover. And they were very fortunate. Actually, the ball went out of bounds off Florida State to get it back. And his coach, Chris Mack, just kind of, hey, calm down. So look, he's just trying to take on, just be a hero here and try to take everybody on. They're very fortunate to get the ball back.
And sloppy on the inbound. Walker stumbled, lobs it for the lay-in. They were trying to tee up the dunk for Forrest. That didn't happen, but he got it through the net. The lead is 9 and growing for the Seminoles.
And right now, to whom does Louisville turn to stabilize this? A freshman point guard getting pressured.
Nifty. David Johnson, that freshman point guard, ends that very long field goalless drought that started at 14:44, so they went about 9 minutes and change without a field goal. And Patrick Williams fouled.
Louisville getting spread out in that 2-3 zone. A lot of space in the middle of it. Florida State taking advantage of it to get it along the baseline.
Jordan Ward's third foul. Sports Center tonight. After Oklahoma State at #1, Kansas, John Anderson and Zubin Mehenti. They'll break down Trae Young's night against the Sixers. See how the Tigers fans reacted to some of those Houston Astros playing their first spring training game today. And as we told you a moment ago, Sabrina Ionesco trying to do something no other women's basketball player has ever done. Sports Center after Big 12 hoops on ESPN and the ESPN app.
I don't think any player, men or women, has done that before. That's an amazing accomplishment.
I should do more research. I typically just read the card. I trust those who provide us with this outstanding information.
Much better defended by Florida State. Anthony Polite not coming off McMahon at all.
Walker and Enoch got tangled up along the end line. And the foul on Walker.
Watch how difficult here, Sean, it is for Louisville to get the ball inbounds on Florida State. Guarded by 6'9", and then you got to try to reverse it. But look how far out the offense has to start.
I just think they're tired both mentally and physically. There's a bucket for Enoch and a chance for a three-point play. I mean, this Florida State team, we're sitting here at courtside watching it from very close, obviously. They are relentless.
They're relentless. They keep coming. They keep. I'm not sure Raquan Gray needed to get around in front there, but just not quite enough pressure on the ball to keep that ball from being lobbed over the top. But look what you have to do just to get an opportunity.
3 fouls on Gray. That's the one that gets Florida State over the limit with 4:59 to go. As much as it feels like Louisville's on the ropes, they're still within 7.
Stick with the zone, 2-3 zone, but it's extended. Because Florida State can shoot it, you have to come out further. Now it goes back to man.
Raquan Gray is an effective driver. 6'8". 260, fouled by Enoch. Foul trouble starting to pile up for Louisville. Again, shorthanded in the front court with the ankle injury on Malik Williams in the first half. And Enoch's foul is his 4th. So 4 for him, 4 for Johnson.
You got to play Raquan Gray for the drive, but if you give him too much room, he's got good feet. He can take up that space. And then he's like a truck going downhill.
There's Mon Valerie here from South Florida.
Gray had a really good game last year in the tournament against Murray State. He wound up with 11 points in that second round game where they were able to beat John Morant and the Racers.
On the way to the Sweet 16 where they lost to Gonzaga.
Can't even get the ball in bounds. I mean, that's just great defense by Florida State. Denying, and then Patrick Williams on the ball with that length and athleticism. And now this is a spot throwing.
You and I both done a lot of games where this is the loudest, liveliest I've ever heard the crowd.
Yes. And that's saying something in this building.
Yeah, an old barn. They're right on top of you. Duke and Florida State all with 3 losses in ACC play entering tonight. Louisville with the half-game lead with 1 more win, but they're on the ropes here with 4:20 to go. Johnson, another nice play.
Completely under control. But Louisville Florida State giving up the tough 2, not coming off 3-point shooters. They're not going to give Louisville a chance to get back by 3. If it's by 2, that's one thing.
Forrest, strong drive, and he scored over Fresh Kimball.
He's just bigger and used his size to go right over the top of the smaller Fresh Kimball.
11 points. That's 7 straight games now, double figures for Forrest as he extends the longest such streak of his career.
David Johnson can match these Florida State guards in size, but not Kimball and not McMahon.
Or grabbing at his knee when he hit the court. He might have slammed his kneecap onto the hardwood. He's limping slightly as he goes back to play defense.
Well, Florida State has sent all 5 white jerseys to the defensive glass. Got an offensive foul on Gray.
It seems very unnecessary with McMahon defending much smaller and the ball going over their heads. 4 fouls on Raekwon Gray. All right, on the right of your screen, Luke Murray, assistant coach at Louisville. On the left, the legendary Bill Murray, Luke's dad. He asked Luke this morning, "Sure, how's your dad?" And he said, "He's coming tonight. We never win when he's here." I told him the game was Tuesday night, but Bill managed to figure out the game's tonight. Bill disputed that when we saw him at the half.
Well, he also said he's
a lot of wins at Xavier.
Yeah, he's only gone to away games so far, so he said he can't hold that against me.
That's Johnny Murray on Bill's right. Left of your picture, one of the Murray brothers. What a great family. And of course, known for Caddyshack, the brothers have a big golf tournament in St. Augustine, Florida every year to raise money for charity in that part of the world.
Didn't get it across.
Not too slow in the backcourt.
And that's the easiest thing to keep track of for a point guard because all you have to do is look up at the clock. The referees don't count anymore. They just use the clock.
And by the way, best wishes to Brian Doyle Murray, great actor, who's on the DL, not here tonight. He's battling back from a broken wrist suffered in Lima, Peru. MJ Walker over McMahon, who apparently got him on the arm. We've said it a couple of times. They are clearly trying to take advantage of McMahon on the defensive end. That's Ryan's 4th.
Yeah, they're picking on him every time down. And there have been a couple times in the second half where there were right-hand drives along the baseline, and McMahon was in really good defensive position, but wound up picking up a foul because he just didn't go down. And that's what he's going to have to do to get those. But that was just great job by MJ Walker of stopping on a dime, just backing up.
Walker missed the first of 2.
What a weapon for Florida State, the free throw line. They knock down free throws at such a high rate. You get there, and that's the most efficient place to score on a basketball court, the free throw line.
They're better than 78% from the line tonight. The lead is 10. Under 3 minutes to go. Largest lead for the Seminoles, who trailed by 12 early in the second half. Louisville playing most of the game without one of its best big men, Malik Williams. Essentially playing with 8 men tonight in their 3rd game in 6 days against this relentless pressure defense of Leonard Hamilton.
Boy, relentless is right. They're switching everything, and Louisville cannot get anything right now.
Moore shot from in close and missed it, and then Kimball fouls on the reach-in in the aftermath.
This has been like an MMA fight, and they punch you when you're down, they punch you all over. I mean, it has been haymaker after haymaker in this second half, and Florida State has choked off everything that Louisville has tried to do on the offensive end. Louisville shooting well under 40% in the second half.
Warren has not scored in the second half. Raekwon Gray the miss. He's 0 for 5 from the floor. Kind of mirroring his recent play. 11 points in the first half, nothing in the second. Mentioned how off he was in those 2 recent losses. Bounced back nicely in the back-to-back wins that they brought here to Tallahassee.
On this, there's no rhythm been established. Actually, the rhythm has been established by Florida State, and it's been a defensive rhythm.
Johnson, one of the few Cardinals that looks fresh. Are they going to count that? Yes, Michael Stevens says score the goal for David Johnson and a chance for a 3-point play. Devin Vassell called for the personal, his second.
Just got Vassell into the air, but it took a broken play for Louisville to get an opening down near the bucket.
Johnson makes the free throw. Now Louisville will try to bring pressure of its own, back within 8. Just more than 2 minutes remaining.
Your point earlier, Sean, about how much gas does Louisville have left in the tank, as Florida State looks fresh.
Forrest fresh as he goes to the bucket and got fouled.
That's a door slamming right there. That is a door slamming. We've talked about Trent Forrest and what a respected player he is. He can do everything. An outstanding leader, and it's never about him. It's always about the team.
He completed the 3-point play. Noles by 11, under 2 minutes to go. About to win their 22nd in a row at home. Unless Louisville can really do something special here in the last minute 44.
Has Louisville had an offensive rebound in the second half?
It seems like everything. Another one.
Yeah, Walker by clearly worn out Louisville team. Just nobody able to move on defense to get in his way. Boys have a quiet half, still not a bucket. And to answer your question, 3 offensive rebounds in the half for Louisville.
It seems like Florida State limited to 1 shot, if they got a shot at all in the second half. What a spectacular defensive performance in the second half by Florida State.
1 minute to go. Florida State about to be 14-3. Their best record in the ACC was 13-3 last year. Of course, games have been added.
Don't you think? I think both these teams are Final Four capable, and especially Louisville when they've got their full complement of players. You know, Malik Williams didn't play basically at all in this game, but I'll tell you, Florida State's the real deal.
Timeout. The celebration is well underway. There's a 20-game conference schedule this year. 13-5 in league play last year. And a lot of the regulars are going to come out now. This will be 22 home wins in a row in a matter of moments, and a perfect 15-0 this season. Remain the only undefeated team at home in the ACC. And most importantly, they'll go to 14-3 with 3 games left. They'll be tied with Duke in the loss column. They did lose head-to-head, so they'll need to have somebody help them with a knockoff of Duke. Long 3 spins out from the corner. And the long 2 wouldn't go in for Travis Light. Harrison Prieto in there. He couldn't score.
How about the Vipers getting
this
a chance?
Is the Vipers, isn't it? Block shot. the block to end the game.